So hello everybody. I think we are just waiting for one more lady to join, okay? So hello everybody. I think we are just waiting for one more. Okay, good evening, dear respected speakers, dear guests and audience. Marking the 113th birth anniversary of Professor XuFancheng, organized by XuFancheng Culture Study Center, we welcome you all to our first virtual interactive session on Chinese culture and India-China cultural relations. I wish to personally send my warm regards to Yunnan Province, Dali City, and Zhoushan City for their help and support. Today with us have few important guests, Mr. Zhang Jiapeng, Deputy Director from Yunnan Provincial People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, Mr. Zhang Laoshe from Fujian University, and representatives from Zhejiang Ocean University. I wish to convey my special thanks to Mr. Thong Xintian, President of Boao Calligraphy and Painters Association of China, Mr. Lan Yanling, President of Guizhou Cultural Research Institute of China, Mr. Dev Ratori, entrepreneur and actor from Xi'an, China, Mr. Lu Fei, host of Hanan, for sending their warm wishes for the success of this event. Thanking Ms. Sun Feng for her voluntary help and support. For the audience, you can raise your questions in the chat box. At the end of the event, the speakers may answer the questions. Kindly note, please be very specific with the theme of the event, of the topic of the speakers. I tell a few lines about the concept note of our event today. The main concept of this event, organized by XuFancheng Culture Study Center, is to identify and specially invite those remarkable individuals from India and China who are in the academic and cultural field. The speakers selected are those achievers who has a better understanding of the cross-cultural relations between India and China. They have experienced both the cultures and they are contributing in building bridges. Their achievements are the building blocks that will help the future generations enable to construct a sense of this beautiful world. These speakers are highly motivated, ambitious, talented, and most important, they succeed. We, XuFancheng Culture Study Center, utmost importance to the cultural and civilizational ties between India and China as our priority. Through the interactive event, we would like to examine the main elements of cultural and people-to-people cooperation between the two countries, India and China. Opportunities for rapprochement based on the areas that make possible the development of appropriate interaction, whether it is religion, traditional health practices, similarities in the political outlook, large expatriate communities, education, art, and tourism, etc. So to begin with, our first speaker is Dr. Zhu Xuan. She is an Associate Research Fellow for Center for Indian Studies from Shenzhen University. She got PhD degree in Department of South Asian Studies, College of Foreign Languages of Peking University in 2013, majoring in Indian religion, philosophy, and culture. From 2010 to 2011, she studied in Department of Philosophy of Delhi University for 1 year as a visiting scholar. She joined in Center for Indian Studies from 2014 and gave public elective courses as Indian culture, Indian literature, Indian society, and India and China in Shenzhen University. Her published books as co-author are Notes of Journey to India, Reflections of Indian Culture, Critical Biography of Professor Ji Xianlin. She joins in writing articles in Tan Yungshan, Central Compilation and Translation Press, translation of Oriental literature in China, and the book, A Heart of Rabindranath Tagore, Left in China. As associate editor, she presided over one National Social Science Foundation project on medieval Sufi faith in India. So I welcome Ms. Zhu Xuan to give the first speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Das. And I'm feel so honored to attend this conference in this hard time in China and also in India. We still have collectors online. So I think it's very lucky for us. Just 1 minute, I share my PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait for a moment. Okay, this is my topic, the Pondicherry in Professor XuFancheng and Professor Tang Yinsan's works. Why choose Pondicherry? We know the XuFancheng Cultural Study Center established in Pondicherry. And I also I also love the small town. I went there many times and also leave some very good memories there. So that's why I choose this topic. So we all know that Mr. XuFancheng, very famous scholars in our China, also in India maybe. Professor XuFancheng lived at Pondicherry for 27 years, met from the 1951 to 1978. And he lived many translations on on India classicals, works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. He also wrote the English books on Chinese Confucians, philosophy, and the Chinese characters. He also writes some articles about Sri Aurobindo Ashram and Aurobindo. Did he write his life in Pondicherry? Not too much. So that's why that is my personal interest to explore Mr. XuFancheng's real life in Pondicherry. So I visited there and did the field investigations maybe 10 years ago. So in 2011, I wrote one article about XuFancheng named Account of XuFancheng's 27 years in Pondicherry in Chinese, which was published in the International Sinology. I read many the manuscript, notebooks, letters, and books of Professor XuFancheng that was perceived in 8 paper box in archival library of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. That is his book cover. He deserved this book cover himself. So this is all the books he wrote in English, but all introduced the Chinese culture, Chinese philosophy. So this is the archive library in the Sri Aurobindo Ashram. I also saw some of the scanned copies of the calligraphies and the paintings of Professor XuFancheng, totally 282 in a gallery of ashram. I went to this is a gallery of ashram. When XuFancheng was there, he had some painting exhibition there for the Mother. And also in 2011, they also made an exhibition to remember XuFancheng's anniversary. This is XuFancheng's painting. There's a totally 282. So I went to the Chinese sector in Ashram Library that keeps Professor Xu's collection. I also made a catalogue for the connection. From Xu's from XuFancheng's letters, I found his lives in work times and spare time at ashram. He taught Chinese paintings, calligraph, and also did translation. He liked walking, he liked checking, he liked playing chess with his friends. Sometimes he also smoked. So in my articles, this is Professor Xu's house when he was living at Pondicherry. Yeah, that is some of the photos when he was in his house. So in my articles, I found a very interesting prose and a small short prose in his manuscript. The prose name is the Bing Friends. In Chinese, he wrote in Chinese. So Chinese name is 豆子朋友列传. This is very interesting prose. It's not like, it doesn't like Professor XuFancheng's others academic work. It's not like that. It's very easy. It's very easy and it's very interesting. So in which XuFancheng made a sketch for his friends. The friends, not the common friends, but the child friends. So the process was just a draft. And this draft was not included into the collection of works of XuFancheng, but it's very easy reading. And the writing is real in XuFancheng's another work. So that's why I picked them and wrote this in my articles. So this is the translation by General University. The translated into English, not by me. It's translated by a doctorate student in Genoa. So that's his translation into English. So I put the first 7 paragraphs here. You can read it. Professor XuFancheng said it's not difficult to title the text as the biographic sketch of the empires. It's also to name it the aristocratic families. It's also inappropriate. So to title is a biography is appropriate, but it's not a biography of a certain friend to write a Bina Nakshana, but biographies, some Nakshana. So how many beings life has? That is very small children, so small, exquisite, and always stay in groups. No wonder it's called as being. It's very small, so it's like a being. He said Pondicherry is a small place. The street is quite wide. Residential areas is not densely populated, and there's no police station. Every morning, I go out and return to my apartment, taking the same road. I usually encounter my being friends either in front of the school or the church, full of spirit, as if the Gan Murray has hated the street. Then what is universal, Nakshana of them, that is never changed. There must be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3 more in small group discussing something, and atmosphere is quite tense. They certainly are on circles, and circles certainly are free than the riders. Therefore, if a slight advocate rode a cycle, he will take 1 or 2 on board, one on the horizontal spar, and the others begin writing in moving circle after being pushed in motion. You will send certain a box B. If not, then escaping after kicking him, and the B chase him in hot pursuit exit. So that is just the first story, first 6 paragraph, and the others. He also described that the children to pick his mango, and he climbed the tree and sometimes do something bad things. And he also taught them how to use the brush to paint, to write. It's very interesting things there. So now I will turn into the other scholars. The other scholar was Professor Tan Yunshan, who was the first dean of the Jina Pawan in Vishwapadi. In 21st November 1939, Tan Yunshan and his friend Professor Shishi Kumar Mistry of Varanasi Hindu University came to Pondicherry to visit Sri Aurobindo. In Mother's agenda, August 1989, we found Tang Yusan's words who talked to the mother. Yeah, this is Jina Pawan when Tang Yusan and the Tagore established. So in mother agendas, Tang Yusan said to the mother, he said, China is a very intelligent country. They would be able to understand Sri Aurobindo's writing. And I see nothing else that could save the world from the confusion. And he also, the mother said, his own opinion is that there's only Sri Aurobindo's thought that can save China. So Tang Yusan also, his friend, Professor Shishkumar Mishra, also read articles. The article's name is the Sri Aurobindo and his ashram. He remembered Tang Yusan's word. Tang Yusan said to China, for once he was conquered by a great India, Lord Buddha, but he's again going to conquer by another great India, Sri Aurobindo. When Tang Yusan came to the Santinikatan, he wrote a long speech named A Winking of Consciousness, Sri Aurobindo's message to the world at the conference held on Varanasi Hindu University in 15th April 1955. This is comparative studies between Sri Aurobindo's thought to Confucians and Yogacara in Master Xuanzang's translation. So the orange copy is now preserved in Tang Yusan Sino-India Friendship Museum of Shenzhen University. So because for that, the limited times, I think I couldn't go further to detail some details, talk some more details about Tang Yusan's work. But the Tang Yusan's works will be published in this or next year. So at last, I must thank to the Dr. Spigidas and thank to the XuFancheng's Cultural Study Center and hopes that the XuFancheng Cultural Study Center could be a golden bridge to connect the youth of India and China. We hope that more universities and more institutes could join the online Chinese course sponsored by the Center for Language Education and Cooperation, CLEC. Yes, you maybe know this. So at last, we still wish the long live Sino-India friendship. Thank you so much. Sorry.
Not visible.
No.
Yeah, madam, can you stop the screen sharing? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam Zhu Xuan. It was indeed a very knowledgeable information which you gave about Professor Xu and also about Professor Tan Yun Shan. We really want to know more about Professor Tan Yun Shan also, and we'll be calling you to Pondicherry also in the near future to learn from you a lot. You know, our students also from XuFancheng Center, they will be very eager to learn from you. You know, so thank you a lot for today joining this event. So I want to call upon the second speaker. This is Dr. Sumit Lokhande. He is currently working as an assistant professor in School of Liberal Arts and Human Science in Oro University and serves as esteemed member in Academic Council of Oro University and member board of studies of School of Liberal Arts and Human Science and Department of Political Science, CKT College, Panvel. He did his MA in Chinese philosophy from Beijing Normal University. Also, he received the Chinese Ambassador Scholarship to do his PhD research and linguistics from Shanghai International Studies University, September 2016, July to 2017. He received the Confucius Fellowship to pursue independent research as senior visiting scholar at School of Law Shandong University, Jinan, China, from September 2017 to. So I call upon Dr. Sumit.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to start my speech by thanking the organizers of this interactive session, and especially Dr. Das, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the occasion of 113th birth anniversary of Professor XuFancheng, who has done tremendous work on Indian and Chinese culture, especially his works on sphere window. I'm basically, from my introduction, Dr. Das must have told you that I'm basically from background of political science and international relations. However, being from a civilizational state like India, when I went to China, I had a cultural shock, and it was way more different than what I assumed, of course, in a positive way. I know most of us who have been to China and Chinese who have been to India have the same feeling. During my 3 years of stay in China, I had developed a keen interest in learning Chinese civilization in totality, which includes every aspect of it, like culture, tradition, literature, philosophy, history, politics, economics, and other dimensions. The reason was very simple, and that is, if you wish to understand China, you will need to develop an holistic approach, because everything is interlinked and imbibed with each other. Now, when we talk about Indian and Chinese culture, one thing is sure: they have more similarities than we can ever imagine. Just like Indian cultural philosophy, Chinese philosophy tries to lay the foundational principles for humans on this planet. It speaks about the benevolence and cultivation, which which talks about being grateful to what we have and being kind with others. It also talks about self-fulfillment and frustration, which talks about human nature and how internal and external environment can impact the nature of human in totality. It speaks about great unity and harmony, which talks about peace and unity among all humans with a shared path of future. On the Indian side, Bhagavad Gita also talks about more or less similar things. Now, this brings our discourse to the most important Chinese ideal of Tianxia the Tong, that is grand harmony all under heaven, which is a Chinese echo of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Though Tianxia is very well expressed as under the all under the heaven, we see a similar explanation of Ta Tong in classic of Liqi. There is famous passage generally called as Ta Tong Pian, which is one of the hallmarks of Chinese civilization. They say depicts the utopia of the ancient, which is a society governed by the most of virtues and capable people. Everyone here is well provided, and in this society, in this utopian society, old pass away peacefully, the adults are employed, the young are well nourished, and the widows, orphans, disabled are taken care of. There's no unrest, robbery, theft, and people do not need to close their doors when they sleep at night. This is the picture of Chinese utopian, the Thong, that is grand harmony. With the Indian mindset, it will sound more like the Ram Rajya, where everything will be perfect. And here is something that we can see more connectiveness, more similarities between the Chinese philosophy, Chinese culture, and Indian philosophy and Indian culture. I wish to choose this topic because we are talking about the similarities. The topic today is about India-Chinese culture. So instead of giving you details like how this philosophy is generated or the genesis, I just wanted to give you simpler examples of it. And that is how similar the concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam and Tianxia the Thong is to us. Now, let me give you a practical example of Tianxia the Thong. In 1938, India sent 5 physicians to China to treat the injured Chinese soldiers during the Japanese invasion. And Dr. Kutnis, popularly known as Ketihua in China, laid his life in the line of duty. In his remembrance, Chairman Mao had written that the army has lost a helping hand, the nation has lost a friend. Let us always bear in mind his international spirit. Further, whenever Chinese leaders from Chiang Enlai, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, Xi Jinping have visited India, they have made it a point to meet Kutnis family in India. Whenever new Consular General takes the position in the Chinese consulate of Mumbai, he makes it a point to visit Kutnis family. In 2020, despite of territorial dispute, India and China together commemorated 110th birth anniversary of Dr. Kutnis. Similarly, a medical school has been named after him. Why to go far-fetched? Here, the very center, the XuFancheng Cultural Studies Center, was also established on 2020 to commemorate XuFancheng's 110th birth anniversary. And this was despite of the border dispute that were heightened in that year. This was despite of the coronavirus that the world was invading. And here are the two civilizations who are coming together to establish a center in the name of Professor XuFancheng, who had played an important role in connecting the old, what you can say, relationship, rather reviving the old relationship that Indian and Chinese civilization had. Lastly, as the 20th century is witnessing the rise of India and China, and as they have embarked upon the journey to retrieve their glorious past, they need to remember that the ancient era had one fundamental, and that is peaceful and cooperative relationship between India and Chinese civilization. Hence, I would like to request both the governments of India and China that Indian spiritual goal of Vasudev Kutumbakam, that is the whole world is one single family, and the Chinese spiritual goal of Tianxia Tetong, grand harmony all under heaven, won't be realized unless and until these two big nations with a combined population of 2.8 billion cooperate with each other. We need to learn from our civilizational past, our philosophical past, and keep alive Professor XuFancheng's spirit of humanitarianism and spread prosperity and harmony all over the world. Said that, I would once again like to thank Dr. Das and the organizers of XuFancheng Cultural Studies Center for organizing such an event where the speakers would express their views, share their views, understand each other's views, and develop this harmonious relationship for the next decade to come. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sumit. It was very interesting to listen to you and holistic approach to understand China. And really, we want to hear from you more. In future also, we will be calling you. You spoke very interestingly. I think all our speakers and audience also liked what you have spoken. Thank you a lot. So our third speaker, Han, she expertises in climate change, food environment, sustainable development, etc. She is the Chief Operations Officer at PeaceX, a member organization of the United Nations Environment Program. In past, she was co-leading a negotiation policy tracking team as the focal point of UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, approving the submissions for biennial conferences and side-by-side events, and co-managing youth climate action. So I want to call forward Ms. Katalia Han.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon and good evening, my dear fellows from India and China. I'm Katalia Han, Xingyue Han, Han Xingyue, currently based in Australia. To be frank, it was my pleasure and a great honor to participate in this online event, and thanks to Dr. Das's invitation, I'm able to celebrate Diwali festival and Professor XuFancheng's 113th birthday remotely. For starters, I would like to introduce the title of my today's speech, which is Let the World Hear Our Voice. The purpose of my presentation aims to bring you some insights into how young people from India and China can work together for common solutions to address global cross-cutting issues. Look at us, how likely we are, China and India. We have so many things in common. For example, both of us are emerging markets and are former members of BRICS. We have the same religious origin, and the majority of our nationals faithfully obey the Zen culture. Moreover, there is a Chinese idiom, 民以食为天, meaning foods are the most important matters to people. That's inevitably true, and we can't deny our common food culture either. Now, you see, we are so much alike in lots of fields. Speaking of food, we can't simply get away from agriculture sector. Both India and China set their national sustainable development indicators to better answer the call of 17 SDGs, such as no hunger, no poverty, and economic development. That's exactly the point from which I'd love to share my stories with you. As part of youth, what on earth can I contribute to the China-India relations? Luckily, I started finding the answer from my journey at Universal Versatile Society as a UN volunteer. UVS is an Indian NGO accredited by UNEP, UN ECOSOC, and UNFCCC with consultative status. The organization attracts international talents to work out solutions for the current difficulties faced by vulnerable groups, including farmers, women, and children. UN volunteers from both countries established an online platform to strengthen the people-to-people ties and bring convenience to local communities. This prototype just reflects the collaborative mode as digital villages that have been proliferated to other adjacent countries, such as China, well, in particular. In other epoch-making areas, to take climate change as an example, China and India also showed their climate action initiatives to tackle intergenerational challenges as well. Another project I'm currently working on also exemplifies the significance of education and education equity in both nations. As a member organization of the UNEP Major Group on Children and Youth, the PSEX family, hailing from 60+ countries, works towards achieving the ideals of peace and sustainability by brainstorming vibrant policy ideas and incubating community-rooted endeavors to counter and correct contemporary plights. My role as Chief Operations Officer is to explore the potential partnership opportunities throughout the world and reach out to qualified educators to host webinars or workshops for underprivileged children and women in the Asia-Pacific region. Although those kinds of online and offline activities won't bring me any financial benefit, I can still feel a great joy behind this and learn a lot from Indian professionals during the process. Oh, my friends, forget about the current sensitive diplomatic ties between India and China. Think about what we can achieve together as a team for a sustainable, prosperous, and a promising future. Last but not least, I sincerely welcome you, my friends from India and China, to join me in those volunteer opportunities so that our intelligence can be leveraged to solve more social problems and make great impacts internationally. Thank you so much for your attention. Should you be interested in my background, please don't hesitate to connect with me via LinkedIn. Thank you so much again. Back to you, Dr. Des.
Thank you, Ms. Catalia. It is a very different subject in the environment, climate change, and food securities. Really, this is the most needed thing right now, I think so, at this time, where mostly India and China can work together. And in the future, I hope probably by next year, I can invite you to and personally give a speech and also meet with us, and it will be quite helpful for our center's students also to directly meet with you and gain your knowledge. Again, thank you a lot to join us today in your busy schedule. Thanking you. So, okay, I will go back to our right now third speaker, Ms. Shu Hui, lecturer at the School of Art and Design, Dalian Polytechnic University, and PhD student in drama and film studies at Beijing Normal University. Madam Shu Hui.
Hello, Dr. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. Thank you, madam, for joining us.
Okay. And thank you for the invitation, Dr. It's a great honor for me to participate in this event. Sorry, I don't prepare the PowerPoint. For this event, I would like to say many similarities can be found in the ideological sphere of Chinese and Indian civilizations. The common Oriental cultural traditions and religious cultural exchange have generated a sense of cultural proximity, which makes it easy for China and India to foster affection for each other's culture. An important link of cultural exchange, film has become a vital medium for deepening China-India partnership, bringing the two peoples closer and closer. I'm an Indian film researcher, and meanwhile, I'm a big fan of Indian films as well. On May the 31st, 2019, Indian heartthrob Hrithik Roshan came to Beijing to promote Kabir, his first film screened on China's mainland. I was lucky enough to have a face-to-face conversation with Hrithik in Beijing. He and his team showed great kindness, professionalism, modesty, and politeness, which have deeply impressed his Chinese fans and audience. And on January the 10th, 2020, I came to India to celebrate Hrithik's 46th birthday. When he saw me and the other several Chinese fans, "I remember your faces," he blurted out. We expressed our good wishes for him and welcomed him to visit China again. He was happy to receive our traditional Chinese gifts and took pictures with us. The significance of our trip to India is far more than just one intimate contact between an Indian movie star and his Chinese fans. It lies in the bond of the film cultures that have enhanced the friendly exchanges between the two peoples. In recent years, China-India co-productions, including Kung Fu Yoga, Buddies in India, Xuanzang, and the recently released Lucky Enter the Gold Dragon, have laid the foundation for cooperation in the film industry between the two countries. An increasing number of Indian films have entered the Chinese market. Films reflecting on social realities such as Dango and Secret Superstar brought tears to millions of Chinese viewers. building a China-India film community. It would empower filmmakers from both countries to tap the immense cooperation potential hidden in film culture similarities and deepen multi-level film exchange to promote cultural integration and industrial prosperity. As an Indian film promoter in China, I regularly organize cultural exchange events, such as film salons, in addition to attending screenings of Indian films. I share my knowledge about Indian culture and films to help more Chinese learn about Indian films. I hope that in the future, more Chinese audiences will understand and become familiar with Indian film culture. More excellent films from both countries can be accepted and loved by people from both sides, and more communication will be possible between filmmakers and fans from both countries. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Madam Shu Hui. It was really wonderful lecture in this field of film studies and dramas. Yes, people to people can connect more in this field. I hope in the future we can join together and do something, I really interested, and we have more other speakers. I think one more speaker is also there. She might be also interested in this one. So personally, we will see how we can join together and do something. Thank you a lot for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So our next speaker is Miss Yashi Dharewal. She is an author, a political analyst, and an educator for civil service aspirants. She has past experience of working at the Chinese consulate in Kolkata as a political officer from May 2016 to September 2017. Can I call Miss Yashi Dharewal?
A very good evening, everyone.
Hello, yeah, you are audible. Okay.
All right, great. Well, I firstly thank you, the Institute, for inviting me at this wonderful occasion. And at this particular juncture that we are today celebrating 75 years of India's independence. And after having celebrated 70 years of India-China partnership, I think there are a couple of things that we can just highlight and point towards how we are looking at this particular relationship. If we see the relationship in terms of the theme for today, which is focusing upon culture. So how this particular culture is something that is being, of course, exchanged in the midst of globalization, how the exchanges, both in terms of trade, transport, culture, language, religion, have really expanded the ambit of the interactions that we see today. But in my opinion, it is still much less in terms of what we can achieve given the amount of resources, technology that we have at our hand today. And one such reason why I say this is because we have not been able to capitalize or exploit on all the existing mediums and technologies is also reflective of the fact that there is not much information that is often being shared about India's culture and tradition. For example, a lot of people in China, both the students community as well as people elders, are often amused by a lot of traditions and culture that India has, which has such important, significant spiritual values and has a very historical and religious tradition and a background to it. So I think a lot of such questions are going to be resolved much better if there is greater amount of interaction on multiple levels between the two countries. And that is the reason why it is important to kind of go back a little in time and look at how, even at a time when we did not have the sophisticated modes of transport and communication and interactions in the ancient period, we still managed to have a lot of great interactions. We've still kind of touched upon and known about each other's religion, culture, and language much better. And that is what gives insights into what we can kind of maximize and use the opportunities today. If you look at the ancient times, something which you can use as reference even today, the four more very important areas of convergence or ones which kind of exchange a lot of culture included cultural exchanges being influenced by a lot of exchanges on essentially four major grounds: through religion, through trade, through travel, and through knowledge. So essentially, today, when we look at culture, we have some of a lot of these areas of convergences whereby these four play a very important role. And in the ancient period as well, we've had instances of how beautifully religion, trade, travel, as well as knowledge transfer have helped us in enhancing the cultural ties, the cultural understanding between these two countries. If we speak of religion, one of the most important, of course, influences has been through Buddhism. How basically India has been very, very instrumental in spreading this religion and making a huge impact on China. Starting from the monks who were basically traveling to India and helped in the construction of the White Horse Temple, okay, which has, whereby India has really provided with the design, supplied the materials, the construction materials, the Buddha idol. The entire structure is modeled around Sachi and Sarnath, very important for India. How Buddhism has really helped giving an understanding in China, whereby along with when you have instances of policy formulation, you have governance, how compassion, how virtue is so very important and incorporated. Buddhism has had an effect in those areas as far as Chinese policy making and governance is concerned. If we look at trade, we see that there have been a silk route which has been majorly exploited and used. We had silk routes, including the Tibet-Nepal route or the sea route or the maritime silk route, all right, through which we've had exchanges in terms of silk, Chinese silk, gunpowder, paper manufacturing, Indian imports and exports, including pearls, glass, and fragrances. There has been a lot of travel, which has also led to further cultural exchanges. We have had important scholars like Fashian, Xuanzang, to name a few, who have also helped in exchanging and understanding both Chinese scriptures as well as translating and copying the Sanskrit texts. A lot of Sanskrit manuscripts are actually found there, which have been taken from the people from India, from the monks here, and then those ideas have been spread there. So there was a lot of initiative and understanding that had been taken up both by the Chinese scholars as well as taking those inputs all the way there to China. And they have helped in developing a very fundamental and foundational understanding of the cultures of the two countries. The knowledge transfer has also further helped in kind of expanding this entire aspect of cultural exchange. The knowledge transfer in terms of medicine, astronomy, how yoga has been popularized and has been so very important for the coming together of mind, body, and soul. So towards the end, I'd just like to highlight that the cultural exchanges, which have been always created as a precedent in the ancient times through these four aspects of religion, trade, travel, as well as knowledge, can still be utilized as much more that the two countries can come together, utilize the opportunities, utilize the sophisticated transport, communication, and exchanges that are available here with a better visa assistance, with a better understanding of the two countries and their cultures. There's much greater scope for convergences on fundamental levels between the two countries. Sorry.
Today.
So that is where I would like to, conclude saying that yes, it provides a great platform for such cooperative activities to take place in future. And if India can have shared values with a lot of other countries, like let's say United States or Great Britain, who are far miles away from us, then why not with a neighbor with whom we share a border and very strong cultural ties? So that is where I feel a great hope and opportunity for future. And over to you, Mr. Das, on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Yashi Dharewal. It was really wonderful listening to you. You have come from, right now you are in Bangalore, right?
Yes, I'm in Bangalore currently.
Okay, thank you a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much.
With one call, I think so you have joined us, by yourself, only volunteered to speak on India-China cultural relations. And
Sure.
your speech was also wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you a lot. Okay, with this, I will call to our next speaker, Miss Sun Feng. She is the founder of Zhengzhou Dragon and Phoenix Palace, Huaxia Ancient Costume Photography Studio. She was awarded by Huaren Channel, a global Chinese channel, as the Best Storyteller Award, inheriting the Chinese culture. She is also awarded by our XuFancheng Culture Study Center as the Chinese ambassador, representing our center. And she also helps our center in many different voluntarily. So I call upon Miss Sun Feng.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Sun Feng. It is my pleasure to attend this meeting, and thanks to XuFancheng Culture Study Center for bringing us this wonderful moment for mutual learning. Without high or low class, only different cultures like yin and yang, sun and moon, heaven and earth will accompany us to build a beautiful spiritual homeland. Today, I want to talk to you about Han Chinese clothing. First, I will show you some pictures of me wearing Han traditional clothing. Now, I think you want to know what's Han Chinese clothing. Han Chinese clothing, also known as Hanfu, with the full name of traditional clothing of the Han ethnic group, is an important symbol of Chinese civilization with a long history of nearly 5,000 years since its origin in China. It has inherited more than 30 Chinese intangible cultural heritages and protected Chinese arts and crafts. Overview of the costumes of each dynasty. The coat and dress in Shang Dynasty were the basic form of the earliest garment system in China. The coat symbolizes the sky, and the dress implies the ground. By the Zhou Dynasty, the Chinese coronet system also appeared at the peak of the Celib society. From then on, dress gave a grant, had strict distinction. Xia, Shang, and Western Zhou dynasties. The spring and autumn period and the Warring States period gave birth to an important style, Shenyi. There are two types of skirts, the covered tree and the straight tree, whose difference in appearance is the length around the lower body. There was no big difference between the costumes of the Qing dynasty and the Warring States period, which kept the basic Shenyi shape and system. Qing and Han clothing fabrics still had superior brocade with embroidery of mountain, cloud, birds, and animals or plant patterns. Wei Jin period. The man dressed with bare arms and chest. Women's dress was long skirt mop, large cape, which produced a relaxed and natural feeling. The Southern and Northern dynasties. In the Southern and Northern dynasties, ethnic minority costumes were influenced by the rules and etiquette of the Han dynasty. People wore the costumes of the Han ethnic group. After the Xianbei Northern Wei moved its capital to Luoyang, it carried out the policy of Chinese culture, which allowed the old system of the crown government to continue from the Qing and Han dynasties. Sui and Tang dynasties. In the Sui and Tang dynasties, the development of clothing, both material and style, showed a brilliance not seen before. The most fashionable was served roux, which was the main style of clothing for women in Tang dynasty. Song dynasty clothing. The clothing of the Song dynasty changed from that of the Tang dynasty, which was dominated by bold colors and grand tones. The color was elegant with simple tones. Ming dynasty. To restore the etiquette of the Han ethnic group, Zhu Yuanzhang Emperor of the Ming dynasty established a new dress system based on the principle of the Zhou, Han, Tang, and Song dynasties. Robes were the main clothing, while officials took bufu as a coat with an official image of a bird or a miniature attached image of a beast in front of the robe. Ming dynasty. According to the degree of formality, Han Chinese clothing is divided into 3 types: cut dress, formal dress, and casual dress. The common ones are as follows. The Western equivalent of white tie, tuxedo. It is a dress equivalent to the Western black tie. self-rule is equivalent to Western casual t-shirts and sportswear. Jacket skirts are common clothes which are equivalent to Western casual t-shirts and sportswear. In Chinese name is 袄裙. Yeah. Short garment is a casual dress, which is equivalent to Western casual t-shirts and sportswear. Of course, short garment were for people's everyday activities, home leisure, work clothing, or wearing uniform. Thanks for watching. Best wishes for you all.
Thank you, Ms. Sunfeng.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
It's really very interesting and wonderful looking at these Han clothings, Chinese clothings. There are lots of knowledge in this one. Thank you a lot for and also joining us in today's event. Okay, so our next speaker is Ms. Sun Dan. She is the founder of Rainbow Planet, practitioner of spiritual art and spiritual science, promoter of Pantisocracy. In past, she had visited India and lived at Pondicherry for a short period. So I call upon Ms. Sun Dan. Hello.
A moment.
Hi, hello.
Hello, wait a moment.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Thanks for this invitation. Today I will talk about something spiritual about the relation of the world, China, India nowadays. So now I start my speech. Here and now on the planet Earth is a very special period. We are just in the transition era from the old to the new, namely from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, according to the moving trajectory of zodiacal translation astrologically. It's happening at the moment. So what's the age of Aquarius? Yes, and what it means. The age of Aquarius is about the time of transformation, but more about the transformation of the heart. It stands for the freedom, equality, group consciousness, and the unity and altruism. The human will start to change and re-examine themselves. They will focus on their inner growth and awareness raising spontaneously, and the pursuit from the material stuff to the spiritual one gradually. It will also awaken our divinity wisdom to recognize that the other person is you and to move towards from I to we. So we can say the age of Aquarius means that the entire human civilization will transform from materialist one to spiritual one. The Kundalini Yoga master Yogi Bhajan ever went to the California, USA to deliver a relevant speech on August 14, 1987, the entry point of the Aquarius age. At the same time, an American historian named Jose Arguez, who devotes his whole life to the research of Maya civilization, made a conclusion according to the Mayan prophecy and the astrological speculation. At some point, thousands of New Age humans will gather together in the different spiritual places all around the world to lead and bring peace to the world, to pray all life be one, to meditate the dawn of the New Age. I think the conscious seed of the Aquarius age actually has solded on this planet since 100 years ago, from Swami Vivekananda attending the World Congress of Religions in Chicago, USA in 1983 to the Integral Yoga, Sri Aurobindo and Holy Mother founded together, which assisted humans to realize their holy life on the earth, to the Isha Foundation, contemporary yogi Sadhguru built. This non-profit organization not only brings the original yoga to the world, but also bring the human the well-being of physical and mental health by their tireless effort. During this period, a few of sage and spiritual masters emerged. Their appearance is also for the human awakening. So we can say India is the cradle of the spiritual knowledge of the world. China, as another ancient Oriental civilization, her history is very long and has never been interrupted. Our ancestors left us abundant life wisdom and a rich spiritual heritage. Our traditional Chinese medicine, Tai Chi, and Taoism culture, and India's Ayurveda, Yoga, and Vedanta belongs to different cultural systems, but their ultimate point is similar: nature and man in one, and moksha. So I think they are both the treasure of human spiritual civilization. The Western civilization has been dominant in the world since the discovery of the New World. In the age of navigation, the selfishness of capitalism is becoming increasingly violent by constant colonization, plunder, and oppression. With the advent of Aquarius age, the era of I is coming to an end. The era of we is about to start. It is not difficult to find that some communist communities have sprung up around the world in recent decades. They are self-sufficient in different areas of life, just like Oreo. It can be said they have been struggled to practice the blueprint of human future life. The hope of a country lies in its youth. The future of nation lies in the youth. The hope of the world lies in the youth. China and India are both countries with large population. So is the population of the youth. Once their consciousness is elevated, the transformation of human group consciousness will be speeded up. The significance to the new age will be profound. I sincerely hope Chinese and India youth with similar cultural backgrounds can regain both excellent traditional culture and work hand in hand to contribute a share of the force for the human wonderful spirit home in the near future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sundan. This is a wonderful knowledge
Thank you.
about integral yoga, traditional knowledges. You have a deep knowledge about in this field, and you have visited India, so you know a lot about our Indian culture too. Thank you, really joining us today for our event. Now I want to call upon Ms. Sonali Dhanwani. She is a yoga specialist, expertised in yogic science and health. She worked for the betterment of the youth to stay healthy and free from psychotic problems like depression, stress, etc. She has worked with few mental hospitals as well and the other organizations. She is currently associated with IIT Kanpur and other yoga alliances. She visited China in 2018 and is known for her different therapeutic yoga. Ms. Sonali.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Das, for inviting me as well for this. I'm very thankful to you. And if we start about my topic, everybody was talking about the cultural relations, about yoga, and many things have been already spoken about, but may I have the permission to share my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, please, you share it. It can be shared. You just press the share button, it will be done.
All right, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So before I start on with my topic, I would just like to introduce it like we in the sense India and China, we are divided by the roots, we are divided by the past, but we are still connected, we are still united by our cultures. And many similarities are there within our cultures about our ancestral. And one of the cultural relation which is connected would be the yoga. As I am a yoga specialist, so I would be talking about yoga, how the India and China can be connected and make a good bond. So before proceeding further, India and China are having oldest continuous civilization, and it's about almost 5,000 years. So what are the base? What is the concept? Why is it connected? So when we talk about the concept or the base or the abstraction, then both Tai Chi and yoga are the Asian practices which have been given by our ancestors or the forefathers, which have a great root from our cultures, like yoga or yogasana having good culture with our India, and Tai Chi having a good culture or the root deep from its China. And both of them believe in this spirituality. Unless and until you don't have a faith, you don't have a belief, you don't have trust, you would not be able to perform any practice of Tai Chi, and you would not be able to get any benefit of yogasana as well. So whenever we talk about yogasana, whenever we talk about Tai Chi, whenever we talk about culture, it's very important to have a good belief system, and then only we'll be having a faith or a positive impact. So when we talk about the similarities, it is similar for the spirituality, it is similar for the poses. Like in Tai Chi, there are number fixed of the poses, and also in Yogasana, the mixed poses are fixed. Then, why and what is the concept which makes Indian culture and Chinese culture little similar? The concept of duality. Whenever we talk about Chinese culture or Tai Chi or Taoism, we always talk about yin and yang. And in the same way, when we talk about yin and yang in Chinese culture, we talk about Prakriti and Purush in Indian culture, Shiv Shakti, feminine, masculine, night and day, cold and hot, dark and light, moon and sun. So there is always a concept of duality. If there is dark, there would always be light. If there is head, then there would be a tail. So when there is a positivity, there has to be negativity. When there would be negativity, then only we'll be finding out the significance of positivity. So both the chains connected together, interconnected, and cannot be denied or cannot be breaked through each other. So this is the main purpose, this is the main concept of duality, which both the culture has a similar in. And when we talk about the concept, then what and how we can define and how we can make them similar. When we talk about Tai Chi, in Tai Chi, we talk about a gentle physical exercises and stretches, which means there would be meditation, there would be motion, there would be looking yourself, there will be self-introspection, and in basis, whatever you do, whatever motion and in meditation you would be having, there has to be a connection. There has to be a union or a connection of your mind and your body. And in similar language for the yogic culture, union of body, mind, and soul is known as yoga. So how Tai Chi and yoga are similar, or how the culture of Tai Chi or the culture of yoga are getting similar, can connect India and China relations. So in Tai Chi or in yoga, the main element or the main concept of the training to our mind is to be balanced. We can just focus on the stones in the picture I have focused. So here, just on one stone, both the sides are getting parallel, although one side is more weighted, one side a little lighter, but still they are balancing. So this is a balance in every state. In Hindi or in Yogasana culture, we talk samatvam yogachyate, a condition, a state, a situation, whether it's of happiness or sorrow, whether you are very happy or you are sad, Whether you are in your high peaks or your low peaks, you have to maintain a state of balanced life. And the same way, Tai Chi talks about balanced life, balanced energy. So an intelligent person or a wise person is only when he do his actions according to the situations, not if he is having very good IQ, not if he is very healthy, or neither if he's wealthy, but according to the situation, the appropriate action tells that he's wiser and intelligent. Now, what are the benefits if we perform Tai Chi or Yogasana? Then definitely decrease stress, cardiovascular system goes improved on, respiratory health gain, flexibility increases, stretching part increases, stamina increases, help reducing in depression and anxiety. Also, the happy hormone, which is very, very important because now 75% of the youth is suffering from stress, depression, and tensions. So it is very important to practice some of the emotions which gives or releases the happy hormones like oxytocin. What is the principle? Why are they connected, or why we can make similarity between Tai Chi or any other form of Yogasana? Because the main principle is breathing. You can see the picture, how beautifully and blissfully she's breathing with a good positive mind. So it is very important. Many of us don't even know what is the proper or the correct way of breathing. So here I'll ask everybody to keep your right hand on the navel or the abdomen part and just realize when you breathe in, which means when you inhale, the abdomen part would be bulging out. And when you exhale, the abdomen part would be bulging in. So many of us don't even know the principle when the abdomen would be out or when the abdomen will be in. So repeatedly, breathe in, abdomen out, exhalation, breathing out, abdomen in. So principle of Tai Chi or Yogasana is conscious breathing. When we are breathing, we should be aware how deep is our breath. And then the main basic formula is energy. There is something which connects yoga. There is something which connects Tai Chi. There is something which we get after practicing, and that is energy. So in Chinese culture, in Taoism or Tai Chi, the energy would be referred as Chi. But in yogic culture or Indian, the yoga energy is known as prana. So the vital energy which moves or have a motion throughout your body whenever you are in motion or practice, it gives you blissful reactions, and that energy is either known as chi or prana. But what and why we should say that we should be healthy? If I'm not sick or if you are not sick, then definitely you can be healthy. But no. As we all know, WHO has given a new definition which defines that only physical health will not be counted as a healthy person. If you want to state yourself healthy, you need to be healthy in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state and free from all ailments. So you have to be healthy only when all the aspects, not only physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level would be balanced. So when we were talking about culture and connection of India and China, history of yoga is already there in China. And we all know that it has been from Han Dynasty almost 200 to 220 BC AD. But the word yoga that has been translated in different meanings, which means the connection or the union or awareness, connection of body, mind, and soul. And now it has been spread in simple cities as well. But now, how can we make more connections, or what we can do to make our culture or relation of India and China stronger? What we can do? What we can do to make good trading or the market economy could rise? So role of yoga is playing a good pillar, and it is connecting both the Chinese and Indian culture. Different companies are also hiring the yoga expert and trainers in this. And not only Yogasana and Tai Chi are connected, not only the relation of Tai Chi and Yogasana is connecting yoga and China relation, but many other similarity like TCM, that is traditional Chinese medicine, and Ayurveda, talking about the spices, talking about the herbs, natural ailment, they both are connected. Acupuncture, needle therapy, or marma therapy is also connected. Not only this, when we talk about meridian do, and in meridian, if you talk about in Chinese, Ren Hindu, in India, we talk about nadis, which is Ira and Pingla. 5 elements are also there, which are getting connected. Fire, air, earth, water, metal, and wood is there for Chinese culture as 5 element, and same here in India, it is Panchtat. So similarly, everything is getting connected. Either you hold your ear from the right hand or turning or twisting from the left side, the ear has to be holded and the energy would be there. Not only this, when we talk about other similarities, the other thing is how the impact of yoga in China is affecting everybody. So now MNCs are there, other different associations are there. The entire world wants to be healthy, because after the COVID, we all have witnessed that the importance of health has been taken care of. The awareness about health has been taken care of, and it is rightly said, unless and until we don't lose something, we don't feel the importance of that. And same we have witnessed in COVID-19. So now each and everybody wants to live happy, healthy, and this is the reason why everybody wants to practice yoga. So whatever similarities are there in yoga, comparing in China, they practice, and if there is no form or there is no different form they get, then they hire other trainers and yoga specialists to be healthy. So in short, I would just like to say whatever differences we get, whatever separations we get, there would be definitely many factors which can build India and China relations very, very well. And after the Silk Road and Buddhism, there would be a yoga, would be talking or would be taking as a bridge and connecting and making strong of India and China relation. The traditions, the culture, the yoga would be taking more higher level and more higher scales. So whenever we talk about the yoga, now it has been observed in 21st June and worldwide accepted and worldwide celebrated. Also, India-China had a very, very beautiful relations of Silk Road, but now the third gallery which would be observed would be yoga. Here are the few games when I was there in China and I was working with them. So Chinese students of mine and I was working with TCM, the comparison of TCM and Ayurveda and yoga. Thank you. And if there is any question, I would like to answer you that. Back to Dr. Das.
Thank you, Ms. Sonali. Really wonderful. This is also a very different type of topic. I really appreciate, and also our all the audiences also, I think they will appreciate this one. We are really thankful to you to bringing us the knowledge about the TCM, yoga, and how it benefits the health. And also you have a quite good knowledge about China also. I hope in the future we can also invite you for future events which will be conducted by us. Thank you a lot. Okay, so our next speaker is Miss Zhao Mao Xiang. She is currently a PhD student at Okayama University. Her major is plant molecular biology and physiology. She expertises in social work, pharmacology, agronomy, and seed industry. She worked as Deputy General Manager at Yunnan Bio Group for 6 years, Huaqiao Manor Agricultural Technology Development Corporation Limited. She is highly talented and has been working and side by side studying throughout her life. So I welcome Ms. Zhao Mao Xiang.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your nice introduction for me. Can you see my slideshow here?
You can share your screen and make the, okay, the stage is yours, please.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I'm Mao Xiang Zhao, a PhD student at Okayama University, Japan. I believe One of the reasons that bring us here is the love of Chinese culture and the Chinese-India culture communication. Learn colors is an essential part of learning culture. Today, I will talk about colors, 颜色, in Mandarin, as well as explain their meaning and importance in Chinese culture. Part 1. Colors in China is 颜色. Chinese culture attaches certain values to colors. The color symbolism is a vital part of the Chinese tradition and was already represented by Confucius, who advised people to use the so-called 5 primary colors: blue, yellow, red, white, and black. These colors are linked to the Chinese theory of 5 elements: 五行, water, fire, wood, metal, and earth, where each color is linked to one element. Other colors were considered by Confucius as intermediate and inferior. Theory of 5 elements, 五行. In the picture on the left, we can see the 5 elements and each color corresponding to them. Blue or green represents wood, black stands for water, white for metal, yellow for the earth, and red for fire. As we can see, color symbolism is deeply rooted in Chinese culture. Part 2. The red color, 红色, is the most recognized part of Chinese culture and is itself a symbol of China, just like dragons, silk, or jade. The flag of China, the walls of ancient palaces, the Chinese knot, and the famous lanterns are just some of the popular red things in Chinese culture. Using the red color is one of those ancient and important traditions in China. Red is associated with the element of fire and symbolizes happiness, good fortune, success, and luck. Yes, as we all know, red is represented in all major festivities, especially the New Year celebrations. It is also a color used at traditional weddings. Moreover, red is also used for gifts. The Chinese tradition for giving 红包 is a red envelope with a monetary gift inside, given on special occasions. Part 3. Yellow. The yellow color, 黄色, is traditionally an imperial color in China, which makes it another important color in Chinese culture. It was a synonym of supreme power and thus was used in the robes and attire of the emperors. During the reign of the last 2 Chinese dynasties, Ming and Qing, yellow became so prestigious that it was the imperial family's exclusive color and the commoners were forbidden from wearing it. Yellow corresponds to the earth element. It has more historical symbolism in China. The Yellow River is considered to be the cradle of ancient Chinese civilization. Moreover, the mythical Yellow Emperor is believed to be a founding father of the Chinese nation. When observing the roofs of Beijing's Forbidden City, the yellow color is very visible, representing the supreme sovereignty of the emperor. Part 4. The green color, 绿色, is another important color in Chinese culture, associated with wealth, prosperity, and harmony. We may know that green is one of the most popular colors of Chinese jade, which was traditionally the main material in Chinese sculpture. Jade comes in a variety of colors, but the most valuable imperial jade is an almost transparent enameled green color. Green also symbolizes in the Chinese culture health, patience, sensitivity, and fertility. Green is also a color that sends the idea of purity. Nowadays, green is also associated in China with cleanliness and eco-friendliness. Another interesting fact is that wearing a green hat in China is in Chinese culture a metaphor of being married to an unfaithful spouse. Therefore, green can also have a negative meaning depending on the context. Part 5, the blue color, 蓝色. In China, was usually seen in the combination with green and regarded as a primary color. It represents roots and spring, as well as immortality. Blue in China is associated with its famous table wall that for a long time represented only two colors, blue and white. Part 6. In China, the white color, 白色, is the color of mourning, just like black in the West. In ancient times, the Chinese wore white clothes and hats when they attended funerals. Nowadays, they can also wear white shirts on this sad occasion. This is why it's better to avoid wrapping gifts in white paper. In Chinese tradition, white corresponds with metal and also symbolizes purity. Part 7. Black. Black corresponding to water is a neutral white color, also related to heaven, stability, and power. The Taiji symbol uses black and white to represent the unity of yin and yang. Ancient Chinese people regarded black as the king of colors and honored black more consistently than any other color. Lao Tzu said, know the white, keep the black. And the Tao school believes black is the color of the Tao. In modern China, black is used in daily clothing. Black, along with white, is associated with death and mourning that was firmly worn at funerals, but depends on the age of passing. That's all. Best wishes to the XuFancheng Culture Study Center, and thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Zhao Maoxiang. A very wonderful speech. We came to know about so many colors. It was really indeed a very interesting information what you provided.
Thank you very much.
So I want to call upon our last but not the least speaker, Mr. Mohammad Hashim. He is currently pursuing final year clinical medicine undergraduate degree from Hubei University of Medicine, Xi'an City, Hubei Province, China. Mr. Hashim.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you for organizing committee. XuFancheng.
However, I started to work over land processes too, using satellite remote sensing. I have idea what is happening over land as it's almost the same in oceans as I work on.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, you are audible. Yeah, hello.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I would to thank you, organizing committee of XuFancheng Culture Study Center, even for giving me opportunity to share my speech on the occasion of 113th birth anniversary of Professor XuFancheng. It's my pleasure to introduce myself, Mohammad Hashim from Hubei University of final year medical student of clinical medicine from Hubei University of Medicine, Xi'an, China. Okay, so my theme of today's speech is Chinese and Indian cuisine. The delicious foods are both cherished in India as well as in China. Talking about the topographical changes, when we move down the lane from India to China, we see a lot of things that get totally modified, a lot of stuff that changes as topographically and culture hold as new path. Both India as well as Chinese employ a huge change in the variety of foods they eat, but the deliciousness can be found in both the countries' mass and food. Let's talk about the Chinese cuisine first. Chinese cuisine is an important part of Chinese culture, which includes cuisine originating from the diverse regions of China as well as from Chinese people in other parts of the world because of the Chinese diaspora and historical power of the country. Chinese cuisine has influenced many other countries in Asia with modification made to cater to local plates. Chinese food staples such as rice, soy sauce, noodles, tea, and tofu, and utensils such as chopsticks and wok can now be found worldwide. The most praised four major cuisines are Chuan Lu Yue, and Hua Yang, representing West, North, South, and East China cuisine correspondingly. Modern eight cuisines of China are Anhui, Hui Chai, Cantonese Yu Chai, Fujian Min Chai, Hunan Xiang Chai, Jiangsu Su Chai, Lu Chai, Sichuan Chuan Chai, Chi Chai cuisines. Let's talk about the rice. Rice is a major staple food for people from rice farming areas in southern China. Steamed dried, usually white rice, is the most commonly eaten from people in southern China. Also like to use rice to make congee as breakfast. Rice is also used to produce beer, baijiu, and vinegars. Glutinous rice is a variety of rice used in especially dishes such as lotus leaf rice and glutinous rice balls. Wheat. In wheat farming area in northern China, people largely rely on flour-based foods such as noodles, ping, bread, jiaozi, a king of Chinese dumpling, and mantao, a type of steamed buns. Noodles. Chinese noodles, also known as mian tiao, come dry of fresh is in a variety of sizes, shapes, and textures, are often served in soups or fried as topping. Some varieties are shou mian, literally noodles of longevity. Is an avatar of long life and good health according to Chinese traditions. Soybean products. Several kinds of soybean products are sold in farmers' market in Haikou, China. Stir-fried razor shell with daochi, fermented black soybeans in Chiao Tong style. Tofu is made of soybeans in other popular food products that supplies protein. The production process of tofu varies from region to region, resulting in different kinds of tofu with a wide range of texture and taste. Other products such as soy milk, soy paste, soy oil, and fermented sauce are also important in Chinese cooking. Apart from vegetables that can be commonly seen, some unique vegetables used in Chinese cuisine include baby corn, bok choy, snow pea pods, Chinese eggplant, Chinese broccoli, straw mushrooms, other vegetables including bean sprouts, pea vine tips, watercress, lotus roots, and water chestnuts, and bamboo shoots are also used in different cuisines of China. Because of different climate and soil conditions, cultivators of green beans, peas, and mushroom can be found in rich variety. A variety of dried pickled vegetables are also processed, especially in drier or colder regions where fresh vegetables were hard to get out of season. This dairy products. Chinese is in earlier dynasties evidently drank milk and ate dairy products, although not necessarily from cows, but perhaps cow milk or goat's milk. Many Chinese have until recently avoided milk partly because pasturage for milk producer in monsoon rice ecology is not economic, and partly because of high rate of lactose intolerance among the Chinese population. As such, the use of dairy products in Chinese cuisine has historically been rare, with regional exceptions such as double skim milk dessert in Guangdong province. Today, ice cream is commonly available and popular throughout China. Drinks. Tea plays an important role in Chinese dining culture. Baijiu, Hangzhou as strong alcoholic beverages are preferred by many people as well. Wine is not so popular as other drinks in China that are consumed dining, although they are usually available in the menu. Tea, Longjing tea, also known as dragon malt tea, is a variety of roasted green tea in Hangzhou, Zhejiang province, China, where it is produced mostly by hand and has been removed for its high quality, earning the China famous tea title. As well as in the dim sum, many Chinese drink their tea with snacks such as nuts, plums, dried fruit, in particular juba, small seeds, melon seeds, and waxberry. China was the earliest country to cultivate and drink tea, which is enjoyed by people from all social classes. Tea processing began after the Qin and Han dynasties. Now let's talk about Indian cuisine. Indian cuisine consists of a wide variety of regional and traditional cuisine native to the Indian subcontinent, given the range of diversity in soil type, climate, culture, ethnic groups, and occupation. These cuisines vary substantially from each other and use locally available spices, herbs, and vegetables and fruits. Indian food is also heavily influenced by religion, in particular Hindu culture, choices, and tradition. The cuisine is also influenced by centuries of Islamic rule, particularly the Mughal rule. Samosas and pilaf can be regarded as examples. The most important frequently used spices and flavorings in Indian cuisine are whole or powdered chili pepper, mirch introduced by Portuguese from Mexico in the 16th century, black mustard seed, sarso, cardamom, elaichi, cumin, zira, turmeric, asafoetida, hing, ginger, coriander, and garlic. One popular spice mix is garam masala, a powder that typically includes several dishes spices in particular ratio, including black cardamom, clove, cumin, black peppercorns, coriander seeds, and anise star. Each culinary region has distinctive garam masala blend. Individual chefs may also have their own. Goda masala is a comparable tough sweet spice mix popular in Maharashtra. Some leaves commonly used for flavoring include bay leaves, coriander leaves, fenugreek leaves, and mint leaves. The use of curry leaves and roots for flavoring is typical of Gujarati and South Indian cuisines. Let's talk about the Delhi, the capital of India. Delhi was one of Rajma Chawal curried red beans with steamed rice. Delhi was one of the capital of Mughal Empire, and it became the birthplace of Mughlai cuisine. Delhi is noted for its street food. The Parathe Wala Gali in Chandni Chowk is just one of the culinary landmarks for stuffed flatbread parathas. Delhi has people from different parts of India. Thus, the city has different types of food tradition. Its cuisine is influenced by the various cultures. Punjabi cuisine is common due to dominance of Punjabi communities. Delhi cuisine is actually an amalgam of different Indian cuisines modified in unique ways. This is apparent in the different types of street food available: kebabs, kachori, chaat, Indian sweets, Indian ice cream, commonly called kulfi, and even Western food items like sandwiches and patties are prepared in style unique to Delhi are quite popular. Okay, sir. Thank you for listening me.
Thank you, Mohammad Hashim. Okay, this speech was also very different about the cuisines of India and China. You did a wonderful research job by selecting its points. Really very nice. Okay, we'll call you again next time to share your own experiences, maybe separately. You can share your experience about your college and university.
Yeah, sure.
Now you are in China or in India?
No, I'm in China right now. Recently, I went to China.
Okay.
In last month, September.
Okay. Okay, really nice listening to you. We will call you again, we will have a separate talk with
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thus our event concludes. Before the valedictory note by Srinivasa Gopalan, I want to call upon our important chief guests of today, Mr. Zhang Jiapeng, the Deputy Director of Yunnan Provincial People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, to just give few words about our event conducted today. Mr. Zhang, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Das, for inviting me to participate.
Thank you,
today's this afternoon's session. I think you call me the chief guest. No, actually, the honor is mine. I was really impressed by all the speakers sharing of their research results and their understanding of Indian and Chinese culture. So my organization, Yunnan Provincial People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, is committed to promoting people-to-people friendship between Yunnan and other countries. So I think this is a very good opportunity for my association to better our understanding with XuFancheng Culture Studies Center. I believe in the future, my organization will continue our support to the work of XuFancheng Culture Study Center. And my association is also very willing to work with all the speakers to promote and enhance the people-to-people friendship between China and India. Actually, I haven't talked to Indian friends for it's almost 3 years since my last contact with my Indian friends. But I think COVID-19 pandemic will be over very soon in the future, and hopefully we can meet face to face to to organize more offline events. And thank you so much. Really, I'm really impressed. Thank you so much. The honor is mine.
Thank you. So I wish and we all wish that we can have a group picture together. So I request everybody to open their cameras so we can have a group picture. Zhang Laoshe, Zhang Laoshe, I think Zhang Laoshe is busy in class. Miss Yashi Dharewal. Okay, some of the speakers are not there, maybe. Mr. Mike. No. Okay, Zhang Laoshe Jaima. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Yashi Dhariwal, are you there? Okay. Okay, I think the rest of the speakers, because the time difference, some of the speakers are having their classes also. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sumit. Okay, so everybody is here. So I think we can take the picture. Okay. Okay, thank you. At the end, I want to call upon our director, Mrs. Radha Srinivasa Gopalan, to give the valedictory note. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Honored speakers, guests, and participants. I am honored here to be present today to deliver the valedictory speech. It was really very interesting to hear about the India and the Chinese culture you all spoke. I was so happy to see all the youngsters coming forward to speak very excellently and energetically, which really gave me so much of energy, as Sonali said that, which gives a positive vibration if we do yoga. So your ideas on each subject you all spoke was fantastic, which is definitely very informative and useful for a future world to come together. Thanking all the speakers for their contribution in making today's event a grand success. Each of the speakers were a combination of kind heart, peaceful mind, and spirits. We enjoyed each speaker. These speakers, you are all the cultural ambassadors who will promote peace and friendship. The world needs you all more than ever. We will be inviting all the speakers to visit Pondicherry in the near future. Also, we will try to organize a cultural tour program where we meet with each other in person. In future, our XuFancheng Culture Study Center will promote more such events. The main idea of our center is to promote cross-cultural relations. Cross-cultural communication allows people to opening up the possibility of fruitful relationships across cultural barriers. Cross-cultural learning increases students' understanding of their own and other cultures. It enhances one's knowledge of the norms, values, and behaviors that exist in cultures. And it allows the student both to discern and communicate cultural differences with sensitivity and confidence. It's very important to have cross-cultural communications, mainly among the youths, because you are all the traveling and meeting with new people through social media channels every day. I again wish and thank each and every one of you who are present here today. And I also wish you all a very happy and a prosperous journey ahead. I will like to meet you all soon once again. Thank you.
Okay, before closing, also I wish Zhang Laoshi, can you speak few words? Zhang Laoshi. You have to unmute it. Okay. Just few words for us, Zhang Laoshi is from Fujian Dashue. He is the Dean of the Sports Science. And he was also the teacher for teaching me badminton while I was in Dali University. Zhang Laoshi. Okay, now we can hear you.
No, I have another preparation.
Okay, sir, we will invite you again. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us today. It was really wonderful. I hope we all can meet soon together. So thanking you all.